Good morning and welcome. Today is Wednesday Wellness. Wednesday Wellness is all about your body, mind, and taking care of you. As you know, Wednesday Wellness is all about getting well, being well, and staying well. We haven't changed that. If you all can hear me, please let me know in the comments that you can hear me. Paying attention to self-caring is all about your wellness. How do you pay attention to yourself? Something caught my eye and I'd like to share it with you. It says pay attention to yourself. When your body asks for better fuel, more sleep, a slower pace, respect that. When your intuition urges you to pull away from certain people and move closer to those who bring you peace, trust it. When your heart sparks at a thought of a new adventure, a bold move, or a quiet time in nature, follow it. Do you know when you need before your mind catches up? Knowing what you need, knowing how to help yourself. And for those of you who didn't know, we're going to talk about that today. So our podcast is Pay Attention! Exclamation point, point, point. Happy Wednesday Wellness. We are back and we're so glad to get back. I am on vacay, but nevertheless, I want you guys to know that I didn't forget about you. And I thought it would be good to start here. This is a great place to, to start. So let's start here. Today's song is Body and Soul by Anita Baker. And my co-host and I were joining you here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you very clearly. So paying attention to yourself. How do we start that? How do we get to be fully aware of doing these things? We talk a lot about valuing our thoughts, our feelings, but I want you to know that you need to pay attention to that. How so? When you come to understand yourself and being connected with yourself, we're talking about the inside, interior of you. When we're making good decisions, when we're making good choices just in life, how do you value yourself, your thinking, your needs, your well-being? I thought today would be a good thing to talk about. How do how do we do it? How do we do it? You know, many of us are like the Energizer Bunny. You know, if you're familiar with the Energizer Bunny, that commercial showed you power, endless power, just keep going, going, and going. Do you do that, Trish?
Yes.
And can you tell us about how that keep going and going and going If you're not familiar with the Energizer Bunny, go to YouTube, type it up. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Trish?
Yeah, me, I try to keep going and going and going, but sometimes I get tired. But like the Energizer Bunny, it makes sense for me to keep on going because it feels like power to continue to keep going, or a word for that is like agility, your stamina, your endurance, like of how you keep going through the day. So me, I try to keep going and going and going. So yeah. If nobody knows, the Energizer Bunny commercial is like about battery power, and yeah, so that's what
Yeah,
I try to do.
yeah. So the assignment for today is everybody go out and watch that Energizer Bunny. You know, it got the job done for selling those batteries. Now, what about you? How do you stop the habits of going and going without taking care of you? I thought this would be good today because one, I'm on vacation and I just keep going. Before I got here, I just keep going and going and going endlessly, even when I have no more me left, which results in a meltdown. You know, we see babies when they're tired, they get very cranky, right? And sometimes they're so cranky we just don't know what to do. So, as a mom or a dad that's handling that child, you have to find out something that helps the child calm down. Is that difficult? You parents, you be the judge of that. But today we're going to talk about what our needs are. So sometimes we avoid just the sitting down. I don't know if you all remember, but we talked about the 15 minutes. We talked about the 15 minutes of just having quiet time. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They say they have 1 million things to do without prioritizing it because life just has to be done, or does it? When we think about our mental and our physical health, what do you eliminate as far as your mental and emotional behaviors toward yourself? You know, for me, I think it's, and this is I want to say this in that this is a habit I have. I don't know how to relax, and I'm learning that. I'm learning that I should get to a place where I'm not feeling so overwhelmed. How many of you have felt just overwhelmed?
I have.
Yeah. Did you guys know that that was an emotional experience? And I want us to look at it really quick because think about how many times we've done this to ourselves. And we're going to look at that because some of us say, well, I don't get overwhelmed. Too much to deal with. Too much. This overwhelming can cause sudden strong emotion and leading to a meltdown, of which I had. Are you doing too much? Do you recall the last time you just did too much and you were completely filled with emotions over because you did too much. When was that last time that you felt that sensation of overwhelmingness or overwhelmness? Sometimes you feel like you can't manage or cope with these feelings. And what do they cause you? Anxiety, stress, can't handle it. Well, I got to that point that I had a complete meltdown. So that's why we're doing Pay Attention. That's the title of our Wednesday. So let's get into it, shall we? When we speak of paying attention to yourself, you know, whenever we have done our live podcast, we never teach you to be selfish. We teach you more to be selfless in that you're thinking, but you're thinking in connection to how to help yourself, how to help others. You cannot pour into yourself if you don't have anything to pour with. So we want to help you to think about this. You know, everything has a schedule. There's always a schedule. We have a schedule. You have a schedule, Trish?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah. So you make sure that you're following your schedule. Me, I hate to write stuff down. I'm just gonna be honest. I almost dread writing things down. But when I realize that I haven't written things down, there's a part of me that feels lost or displaced. So it's important for me to schedule some personal time with me because I am a spiritual person. I do spiritual things, Bible reading, my ministry, and then my meetings. And after everything else, we still have more to do. But let's pretend that we have some scissors. You have them in your hand. Do you cut out time to do something to take a break from hobbies, relaxation? Taking a break doesn't mean that you're forever on vacation because you have to move around. Even after this vacation, I still have to be responsible. With your scissors, I'd like for you to cut out what looks like personal time to you. And if I were to ask you what is on your cutout, what would you say, Trish, for your personal time?
Okay, my personal time, that would be cutting out me making music, listening to music, and just um just sitting outside for relaxing.
Okay, I like that. In my personal time, uh, I really like to listen to music, but I also need to sit down and have some quiet time. The other day, I actually did cut out some personal time for myself in addition to coming on vacation. I actually opened a coloring book and color, and that was relaxing. Did I have a lot of time? No, but on my cutout board, That's what it looked like. It looks like 5 minutes of coloring. I went out, bought myself a Disney coloring book, and I didn't even get to finish Ariel. I probably got to the green tail, but nothing else. But that's okay if you get my drift. To cut out you some personal time. Now, with this, if we were in a session, a group session, or individual session, I would have my client cut out and place on a personal board or a mirror somewhere that is visible for you to see, because some people don't know what that looks like. And that's why I brought it to your attention, because when you know what it looks like, then you're more willing to try it. Practicing our self care. People love showers. Me personally, I like baths, but I'll take a shower if there's no bath. Trust me. Uh, so, self care. When you look good, you feel good. And sometimes when you feel good, you look good. And it works both ways. Now, your practice of self care could be, my niece. She does her nails and her feet. I think every woman should take pride in that. But she does that, and I like that. So for her graduation, I got her a gift of much nail polish and things that you do to take care of you. Everyone is not the same because we have different ways in which we're going to do physical and mental health. Some people are really into the gym. My oldest son into the gym life. Some people diet. Some people uh, find relaxation corners. And by the way, the Healing Center has the relaxation center. You can make an appointment with me directly. And if you're in our community, which is California, Los Angeles, you may come into the Healing Center and have that relaxation center. Can you believe it? We actually have that where you can sit down for 45 minutes and learn the technique of relaxation. What about setting boundaries? Who would have thought that setting boundaries is a way to pay attention to yourself? How many of us have learned to say no when we need to, when we
I have.
have to? And tell us about that experience.
It's been a ride with that one, but I'm getting the hang of it, guys. I would say, I'm gonna be honest, that I was like kind of a people pleaser, like saying yeah because I don't want to hurt their feelings and things like that. But it was cutting out of my time, personal time, and my mental health. So I said no, and then I realized it's better, but some people can't take no for an answer. But that's not me. That's them. I can't control that. So I'm learning to
Love
say
that.
no. So it's been a great ride with that one.
I love that. The fact that you said can't control them, but you can control yourself. Saying no is not something mean. Saying no may be that you're tired. I found myself tired and I just have to say no. I'd like to, but at this point, I have to say at this time I'm really busy with something else, but maybe next time. You still said no. Did you hear a no in that? Did anyone hear a no in that?
Yes,
because
I did.
some people can't take no. They can't. So setting boundaries by saying no, and then being able to well check yourself. Well check yourself. How about kindness? How many of us actually treat ourselves with kindness? Are you kind to yourself? When was the last time that you were kind to yourself? I can truly say that if I want something, like I will treat myself. And the last kindness I did for myself, I bought myself a pair of earrings, Minnie Mouse earrings that actually look like they're diamonds, but they're not. Kindness to myself. But if you don't speak kindness into yourself, you cannot possibly give it to others. Some of us have a hard time being kind to ourselves. You know, I talk a lot with clients about how to speak kindness because I was a person that I spoke unkind things to myself. I hated me. I hated life. But now that I've learned better, I'm talking all about kindness, showing kindness to yourself. Because if you don't show kindness to yourself, don't kid yourself, you cannot give it to others. Remember that. Treat yourself with kindness. Um, we have friends, right? All of us here have friends. You have friends, Trish?
Yes, I do.
I have friends. How do we treat the people that we call our friends? Think about that for a moment. Do you say kind things to your friends? All of my friends. I love all of my friends. So I'm going to treat them with kindness. And I was doing that even before I treated myself with kindness. And we're going to focus on this because really that's a way of self compassion. How many, and I use this analogy all the time. How many times have you been in a car or you're walking and you see an animal that might be unalive, or you see a homeless person, or you see, for me, I could see a shoe in the street and I feel so much compassion for that shoe in the street because I think, oh my gosh, something happened, especially if it's a kid's shoe. If I can do that and have the feelings of that and wonder what happened, or if I see a car accident, I'm thinking through the day if that person that was in that horrific car accident, if they're okay. Because you see the car and you say, wow, are they okay? If I can do that, do you know what that means? If I can feel those emotions, then I have that. And what we need to do with that kind of kindness and self compassion is befriend ourselves, knowing how to stay connected and being a friend to yourself. Because I can list my friends, and I'm not talking about acquaintances, because I have a list for them too. I have friends, and I'm so grateful for those few friends that I have that I say, these are my friends. If you're not speaking kind things, are you going to be friends long? No. But we have to learn. There's a saying, in order to have a friend, you must be a friend. In order to befriend yourself, you must speak compassion toward you. We're on Wednesday Wellness, and we're going to be right back with more. Hang on just a moment. We're back, and we thank Trish for that. Yeah, all of our sounds are done by her, and we appreciate and love you, Trish, for all that you do. Back to paying attention to yourself. How many enjoyable activities have you done just since 2025? Got any new things you've done? Anybody? New things. The coloring for me was not new, but it was something that I picked up because it's calming. And I am, when I was younger, I would color for hours with my mom, coloring for hours. My mom, of course, she spent some time coloring with me, but I like to do that. And so that's a new activity for me right now. Trish, what about you? Anything you picked up?
Something new that I've been doing in 2025 is I got back into reading. So I bought some books from offline so I can get back into reading because I remember as a kid we read for like 20 minutes before class started. So I was like, let me start doing that again. So that's something I've been doing in 2025.
Love that. Love that. If you're engaging in anything that is enjoyable, I should say, with wellness in mind, let me put that there. Keep doing that because that brings you another emotion of joy. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is all about emotions and feelings, your wellness, your well being, how you care for yourself, and how you care for others. Reflecting on your values, like every day, what is important for you? For the last 5 years, for any one of you who have followed us, who have been part of our group, who have been alive with us, you know that each day what we do is practice values. Monday, what is Monday for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast? What are we focused on Monday?
Motivational.
Motivation to get you going. Tuesday, we have transformation, all about changing your life. We can do it positively and we try to do it positively, but sometimes we're going to take the good and take the bad, right? And when we do that, it helps you to have a deeper look at what has changed your life. I was really pleased with the last transformation video that we did because it was all about domestic violence and how it has changed people's lives. And I hope you all got the point of that. Wednesday. We're here at Wednesday Wellness. What's Wednesday Wellness all about, Trish?
Wednesday wellness is all about welling ourselves, getting well and staying well, basically.
Yeah, yeah. We're not doctors. I'm a certified life coach counselor, and we're going to give you things to think about. Why are we discussing this? Because we're really talking about values, what's important in this radio show. What's important? Thursday is to have you think about your thoughts and share your thoughts. And boy, did that ever take off to think about our thoughts and let people be able to express themselves. They're so grateful for that. So if you're on our YouTube pages, if you are on our page here at our Facebook Live, you're more than welcome to share your thoughts. We have that every Thursday. And finally, all of our emotions and the experiences that we have challenge us. They challenge our emotion, our thinking, our mental, our emotional, our physical. And so we do well to ask ourselves, how have we been challenged? Past or present? So what does this have to do with reflecting on our values? Because each time that we're on air, we are bringing you what is important in this show. And every last one of you who are listening, and there are thousands of you who do listen to us, we want you to have something of value. What's important to you? And then take those values and use them in your life to be able to ground you. I hear a lot of my clients, more than one, have said to me they don't feel grounded. And in order to get grounded, you've got to find your purpose. You've got to know your purpose in life. Then I have met other people that know exactly what they want out of life. They just need a little reassurance. So remember, what are your values? Journaling. If any of you are still journaling, think about that. When you write something down that I just told you about 10 minutes ago, that I cannot write stuff down, scheduling. I do a mental schedule because I don't know. It's something about the writing, but then it'll help my memory when I'm writing things down. But how about yourself gaining insight to who you are and being able to talk about your emotions? When we were kids back in the day, I would say, because I have a variety of people who listen, and many kids have a diary. It's nothing wrong with you writing your personal situations down. Because when you write them down, let's say today is June the 11th. It's June the 11th, right? 2025. And you've written down something, maybe something exciting, maybe something happy, sad, something that has profoundly changed your life. And you come back 6 months later, how's it going to look? Are you even going to remember on that day that this particular emotion of experience happened? So it's important to think about and be able to manage our emotions, paying attention to life. Every day since we have been on air, 2020 we started, we ask the question, what are you thankful for? We're going to do it right now to demonstrate. What are you thankful for, Trish?
Today, I'm thankful for waking up early this morning and getting my hair done. That's what I'm thankful for.
Nice. And I'm thankful for my new car, and I'm grateful to be here in where I visiting with loved ones, being able to take some time off work and just do that the next week. Every day. And Trish, I love what you said. Today I'm thankful. Because tomorrow you're going to find something else that you're thankful for. I was visiting, I got here last night, and there was something that caught my eye. As I sat on outside, I noticed that the hummingbird was coming to the feeder. And I wanted to stop and pay attention because those are the things that we take for granted. I'm always thankful for Jehovah God's creation. But I love hummingbirds. They're so tiny and delicate. How does it know where the bird feeder is? It's amazing, isn't it? How does it know that? That little tiny creature comes to the bird feeder or even to find a bird feeder. I'm grateful for such things in life. I want you to be able to think about three things: your self care, your self kindness, and your core values. I want you to be able to know when to take a break. Do you know how to even take a break? In the healing center, we've had a lot of success with the healing center. People come in, you put the headphones on, you learn how to calm down. We're asking you, please, to take advantage of that because there's so many people who don't even have 5 minutes to sit down. When I saw it being put at work, it's amazing. And you always know the people that are like that Energizer bunny who just keeps going and going and going and going versus the people that say, I got this. I know how to relax. I know how to get 10 minutes. And that's what we have to do. Why do we need to pay attention to ourselves? Because if we don't pay attention to ourselves, it causes anxiety, stress, meltdowns. For mothers who are round the clock care, mothers who are taking the kids to school, picking the kids up, dropping them off, da 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 da, it just goes on and on. I ask you to take fathers who are always termed the breadwinners. And now life has changed where both the man and the woman work. Take a break. Many of you have built man caves, but you don't go into your man cave. Why? Because you're too busy. So, wives, if they're working hard and they need a beer or they want to just sit in the man cave, leave them alone because that's their break of saying, that's them saying, I need a break. Something very interesting about the Energizer Bunny commercial. There is a time where the bunny does cease to stop. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but look for them Okay. Why? Because it's showing you in comparison to one battery how one will stop while the other one is still energizing. What does that tell us as human? As human, we just can't keep. We must take breaks. We must see what is important to us. We must think about life. Be grateful for all that there is. Use it for wellness. Some of us get up and we do the same thing every day, like a ritual. But take some time and sit and think. Because guess what I found out? When I get back, the bills are going to be there. Doesn't mean I'm not going to pay them. No, we certainly would not tell you that. But it means if I go to bed and I'm so worried about it, I'm going to lose sleep. Because what am I doing? I'm sitting up while everybody else is asleep, worrying about how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. It will come. We're going to be right back with Wednesday Wellness, and we'll be back in 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere, please, and thank you. We'll be right back. We're back, and we have next up Trish for Trish's Treasures.
So, paying attention is something that I try to practice. Like another um combination of words for paying attention is being aware, staying focused, like those things. And I try to do that a lot because it helps me figure out my situation, the odds of my situation, and how I'm feeling in certain situations. And a little story for you guys is I was playing a game with my siblings. It's like guess the song, and they get mad at me. They get mad at me because I can only hear like 2 seconds of the song and I already got it. Like I know what the song is. And they're like, "Well, can you give us a chance to say what it is? Like can you like can you wait?" And I'm like, "No, like the timer already started. I already know the song because I listened to this song I'm pretty sure as much as you guys did. Why did like I thought you guys were paying attention to the beginning of the song." And that's something that made me realize that my level of paying attention isn't everybody else's level of paying attention. That doesn't make me more or less or them either. It's just everyone has everyone has their own things that they like to pay attention to. Like I love going outside and the first thing I pay attention to is my cats because they're there. They meow when I open the door. That's their greeting of hello, I'm hungry. So that's me paying attention to them. While others will go outside and ignore the cats at the door and they rather look at the sky to see what the weather is like today. Or they are not aware of the sky or the cats. They're just thinking about, okay, I'm going to the car because I have to go to work today. And those three things, it's okay to have that mindset. And it's important to have something relaxing and something that calms your mind, that a calming attention, something that draws your attention and also brings you to pe- to peace. And it's important to have those things with you because we love to focus on things that are not so great because for me it's just the things that cloud my mind, the negativity, the stressful things. It makes me lose the attention of, okay, it's time to calm down, time to take a breather, time to take some time with yourself because you're focusing too much on the negativity. It draws my attention from thinking that way, and then I automatically get stressed. I don't go to sleep because that actually happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was so stressed out and my mind wasn't thinking the usual optimistic things that it thinks when I'm overwhelmed. I got so overwhelmed that my heart, it was beating like very fast. I couldn't catch my breath. I felt like I was about to pass out. And my mom, she was there. Thank God she was there. And she was like calm down. Take your breath, like just breathe slowly. And she was like coaching me through the breathe in and the breathe out. And I had to kneel down because it was too much to even stand. Like that's how overwhelmed I got 2 weeks ago. And I sat down and she sat down with me and she was like, so what's got you so overwhelmed? Like, are you okay? And I started to cry because my mom, she took the time to pay attention to how I was feeling and to ask for the reason why I'm feeling like that. So I say all that to say it's important to take the time and pay attention to our emotions before it gets cloudy and we refuse to see the sunlight behind the clouds, the positivity behind the negativity. So, what are you drawing your attention to within your life? And it's nice to think about that. That's it.
You want to hear more from Trisha's Treasures? Go visit our YouTube page, Live Talk Facing the Light podcast. Yeah, you'll find out more about Trish as well as her latest music project. So, in a wrap, we must think about our inside, what it is like to be able to feel, need, believe. What are our values at any given moment? I love this quote, and I'll end it on this note. Compare yourself only to yourself. Compare yourself only to yourself. It's Wednesday Wellness here at Live Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And you can now, because Trisha's done so well with gathering all of our Wednesday Wellness, if you like Wednesday Wellness, we have a new sign. We also have them categorized. That takes time, and Trish, we know you're working on it. She's got some of it up, so if you like Wednesday Wellness, if you like Monday Motivation, Tuesday Transformation, you'll be able to see it all grouped together. I wish you wellness. Get well, stay well, be well. Until the next time, we ask that you get well soon. We'll see you next time. Thank you to my amazing co host. Thank you to our amazing audience. Without you, how could we have possibly grown? Thank you, everybody.